Roll dice, be nice, and stay tuned. This is the Live to Die podcast. So one of the coolest moments I had in my life was being at a table dinner with mostly just people I didn't really know that well. And the question was just, tell me about an accomplishment that you've had lately that you want to share with everybody. So Jane, you start.
An accomplishment?
Yeah.
Oh,
it doesn't have to be anything major. It's just a personal, thing in your life that you're proud of.
So I decided to try to do a fiction writing challenge, which is something that I find very nerve-wracking and uncomfortable creatively. And I sat down to do it. It has to be 10,000 words, which is objectively not that much for fiction. And I was like, whoa, I'm never going to get this done because the first 3 paragraphs took me 5 days to write. And then the other night I sat down and I wrote 4,000 words. And I was like, oh, once you kind of get into this, it can it's garbage, but it was fun. And so that was something that I felt sort of accomplished about.
Is it a fanfic?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's actually, believe it or not, a Nancy Drew inspired mystery.
So it is a fanfic.
I do like that.
So yeah, it might be Nancy Drew fanfic.
That's cool.
It's fanfic adjacent.
Yeah. No, I have a friend who was like, let's just do this thing and let's try to do this writing thing. And I was like, all right. And it's really, really hard. And some people at this table are professional fiction writers. So
Semi-professional. He's working on it.
Semi-pro.
best friends here to keep you humble. But yeah, it is. I will say that was something that I thought was very difficult to get going with. And so I was like, okay, I feel accomplished for having given it a whirl.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That is awesome.
Congrats.
Thank you. What about you? What have you accomplished?
No, we're going that way.
Oh, okay.
Pass.
Oh, to me? I don't know. I guess last night I was telling Jessica that I was really proud and stoked that I ran the Pathfinder beginner box for my family. We've kind of talked about it the last couple episodes, but I don't know. It was something that I've been talking about for a couple of years, and Nolan's wanted me to do it. And it was just one day I was like, let's get the box out and let's play. So I was really happy to play Pathfinder as a family. That was cool.
Hell yeah.
So sweet.
Congrats.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Are we really skipping James?
Yeah, you have to go. You
You
can't.
gotta go. You
I
can't
don't
just
know.
opt out.
I don't think I'm proud of anything.
Oh, come on. See, this is why we have to do it, because some people like me and you will be like, I'm not proud of
We're
anything.
practicing gratitude today.
Yeah.
Well, there's a difference between what I'm grateful for and what I'm proud of. It's way easier for me to be grateful than proud.
You can go with something grateful.
James told a joke that made me laugh a couple weeks ago and has brought it up so many times that he was like, I'm really proud of that joke.
There you go.
Wait, what was it?
Can you tell?
I
the
can't
joke
even
on
remember.
air?
You're proud of a joke and you don't even remember it.
But I do remember you were like, I'm very proud of this.
Oh, I know what it was.
What was it?
You know what? Here you go. I've told, I think, 3 jokes in the last month that I got actual laugh reactions out of, and I was so proud of each of them.
I knew that you were.
2 guys walk into a bar.
So the first one was, I run a couple of different Pathfinder games in my free time, just for the fun of it. And I've got a group online that I play with that the Discord for the group is Chris Pathfind, as if Pathfinder was, Pathfinder, the game named by Chris Pathfind. It's a dumb joke. That one is not the one I'm proud of.
Oh, okay.
Trent is going to ridicule you.
We were going to
for your
swiftly
joke.
move on.
No, so a couple of weeks ago, we're getting ready for it. And there's usually a gap in time between when I end my work day and when that session starts. And a lot of people know that. And so I had a couple friends message a lot of friends that are in this group are in a different Discord group. And over in that one, someone's like, hey, does anyone want to do some Helldivers before Chris tonight, do some Helldivers tonight, period. And I said, I'm busy up until Chris, meaning Chris Pathfinder. The friend then responds, Chris, it's not Christmas for months. I said, well, it's giving season all year round whenever you're giving 110% to the defense of managed democracy. I felt really happy about that. It's not great, but I thought it was okay.
I was going to go, but tips.
It's better when you retell it.
So that's what I'm proud of. I feel like I want to be funny, and I make a lot of mediocre to horrible jokes. And like 3 times in the last month, I was like, yes.
So you're denigrating.
I
again.
nailed that
You told
one.
good jokes. Congratulations.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks.
Well
There you
done,
go. That's
James.
what I'm proud of.
Anyway,
3
that was
jokes.
a side
Patch.
yeah.
I had a promotion at work.
Oh,
Nice.
congratulations.
Yeah, it was good. So
Running the
I
whole
just
company
started
now.
like 6 months ago.
Oh.
Well, more than 6 months now, but like at the time when I applied, I'd only been there for 6 months, and it was more like not like full leadership. I guess I'm like an assistant manager now,
Oh,
Nice.
goddamn. That's
Cool.
awesome.
That's cool.
which is cool. So that was nice.
That's
It
like
was-
a real accomplishment.
Yeah, holy shit.
Are
I just
you-
made Jane
I
laugh.
think they're all good accomplishments.
Are you assistant to the manager? Or are you
Assistant to the
assistant
regional
manager?
I mean, they gave me a pay bump, so
Hell,
I'll
that's
take
all
it
that
either
matters.
way.
Yeah.
What about you, Ryan?
7 years since I retired from the Navy in 3
Congrats.
days. So I'm
Yeah.
proud of that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Nice.
proud of being out for 7 years and figuring it out. I'm writing related. I just finished the 3rd semester of my MFA at Regis University.
Hell
Nice.
yeah.
And had my 4th.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
Yeah.
Had my 4th writing residency
could
that
be.
just ended yesterday.
Ooh.
And I'm also doing a little bit of writing. I'm writing a novel called The Wizard. It's a very lighthearted story about a man who's trapped in a, game world, and he's being escorted through it by the ghost of his deceased son.
It's pretty good.
Oh,
It's really
shit.
light.
So far.
Yeah, it's super
Yeah.
lighthearted.
Mhm.
And
Really
I
fun.
feel like
It's more lighthearted than it sounds.
yeah. I just have massive breakthroughs this week, and I'm very, very excited to go into my next writing semester.
Nice.
So I'm really proud of that project, as it were.
So at
Hell yeah.
Netflix, if you're listening.
Netflix, Apple TV.
Yeah.
I'm not really big on Amazon Prime.
Fallout was good, though.
Yeah, I'll take.
I'm big. We're big on that money though, dog.
Yeah,
Just go for that.
that person's got the money too. So Apple TV, I'm looking at you for the pickup. If you want the first sample.
You might be
I can
careful. They're
send you the
actually
first
talking
50
about
pages if
reducing
you want.
their movie production.
Oh, really? They be
Yeah.
putting stuff out.
Well, they don't
Spitters, a
really do a
miniseries
good
and-
job of like
Mhm.
advertising. We have this show on Apple TV, and
Mm.
They've
Oh,
been doing
well,
more.
despite everyone
Yeah.
having a phone,
Everybody
Apple
has, yeah.
TV is kind of niche.
Mm-hmm.
They've been doing a lot more advertising. I keep seeing commercials for that new one with the robot. Fuck, I don't know. We'll look it
Oh,
up.
Sunny.
Is that it?
With Rashida Jones.
Yes, that's it. Okay.
But the thing
Mhm.
is, too, is we were just talking about this. Like the Apple TV shows are good.
They're
Ted
good.
Lasso,
There you go.
Mhm.
Blackbird, like there's some
Bad
great
Sisters.
shows.
Bad
Morning
Sisters is
Show.
great.
They're
All
really
these are
good.
amazing.
Severance,
The first season of Morning Show.
Severance.
That's
Yeah.
the only one I've
Severance
seen.
is 10 out
This
of
is the
10.
first season.
Yeah.
Shrinking.
The good news
Yeah.
is my story is it'll be limited. It'll be like a tight 8 to 10 episodes, and you can
Perfect.
cancel it. And then it doesn't
8
just-
episodes is all they do now. Those sons of bitches.
Well, tell
I
you what.
like a nice 8-episode show.
10. 10.
Oh,
10.
okay. Well. Mm-hmm.
I want 10 hours of content.
It's the
if you,
least they can do.
It's the
if you
least they
need
can
any
do.
punch-ups, I can write one joke every 6 months.
Yeah,
there
so,
you go.
know.
I'm in. Yeah,
Deal.
for sure.
One an episode.
This is like a whole other tangent, but I do think it's interesting about how like I can tell what, or like I'll know, like if you give me the premise of a show, I decide whether or not I want to watch it or if it's going to be too dark for me based on what platform is streaming it. So if it's
Sure.
like you could give that premise of The Wizard and it's like Apple TV, I'd be like, hell yeah, I'll watch it. If it was on HBO, I'd be like, can't do.
Man, she brings up a good point.
It's-
All right, Max, looking at you.
No.
Exactly.
Don't
It's
go
The
down that
Wire,
Max
but The Wizard.
pipeline.
No, it's good. It's good. I'm excited about it. I'll
Remember-
share more as it goes on.
Max will make something, fully shelve it, and cancel it for a tax write-off. Don't do that to yourself.
Why would you bring that up? I'm still getting over
Well,
winning
no.
time.
Just and I was mentioning that my entire goal is I'm going to write this book. It'll publish it. It'll come out. Like I'm going to win a Hugo Award for
Sure,
it.
of course.
Easy first
Yeah,
year.
Obviously.
Amazing.
You know, zero. Like I'm just going to write the first draft, and they're going to be like, "Oh my god, this doesn't even need to be edited." And then the show's going to buy it. They're going to change. They're going to buy full rights. Change it. It's going to be a steaming pile of crap, and I'll laugh all the way to the bank.
Yep.
like
That's the
I
dream.
love that for you.
The first,
That is the
I
dream.
like
the
that
first
dream.
season of Californication where they turned his movie into like
Yeah.
a love story and ruined it.
Well, so it's because all the underground nerds will be like, the book is better, and I knew about this before it was cool.
Mhm.
That's what I'm proud of
I'm sitting
happening
right
in the
here.
future. Yeah. No, like, yeah. I knew this book before it was cool.
And then you can recommend my Nancy Drew Island mystery for an adaptation by Hair Interactive into a video game.
yeah.
Perfect.
60% of the oxygen in the world comes from algae, not from trees. Just saying.
That's true.
I don't know what that means.
I learned that from Ryan last week. I said, what's a spooky thing to happen on an island? And he said 60% of the Earth's oxygen comes from algae.
trees out here taking all the credit. Dead serious.
But how
Everybody's
would,
like, yeah.
how would that affect? How would that be weird? on
You'll
an
have to
island?
read
She-
the book.
She sent me, I know we're probably going along with the banter and whatnot, but she's just like, hey, I need something to help with the writing. And I was like, oh, well, what are you working on?
Oh, this is part of
And
your
she-
Nancy Drew story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Got
she
it.
was like, well, this, and there's an island. And I was like, well, what's on the island? And she did mention her main character's a marine biologist, right?
Yeah.
And that's the only thing that I could think of. I was like, well, algae makes 60% of the oxygen in the world. The trees out here taking all the credit. So
Your main character is George from Seinfeld?
No,
Nice.
straight up, my main
Oh.
character is a real life person that I featured on Women's Art Wednesday, and she is like probably the coolest person on the planet because
Cool.
she does like Persian poetry inspired marine biology documentaries. It's very like
Whoa.
complex, but really, really cool. Like she has this really cool artistic bent to a lot of the like eco conservation. She's a PhD marine biologist, but she's also an artist. She does underwater filmography, like super cool. And when I learned about her, I was like, oh, this would make an excellent Delta Green character with like weird, like, yeah, I just feel like she should be out there solving like supernatural mysteries. So
I mean,
Anyway.
I like
the
it.
I love how
underwater
excited you
filmography,
got
yeah.
about that just now. Like,
She's out there
Yeah.
like piloting her little underwater boat around, and
Yeah.
she probably finds some sort of access underneath the waterline.
yeah,
And there's something secret under there.
see, it
There
writes
you go.
itself.
It does. It really does. It does.
I'm so excited.
You know what doesn't write itself?
I don't want to play this game.
this adventure.
The result of this die roll
Ugh.
to
Ah,
see if
Oh, God.
Ari. Also, you keep making jokes about not wanting to play this game. You are allowed to quit. It is fine.
tell
No,
that to Jason.
You can't.
Wow. If
I'll tie you to that chair.
Did James just tell her that he
Yeah,
wants her
get
to
the
quit?
fuck out of here.
Just
Teresa.
quit. Yeah.
Please leave
There's
my
the
game.
You
door.
keep talking about it. Why don't you just leave?
I want that seat by the window real bad.
It's right next to the AC
Literally-
too.
I at one point said to Ryan when he first got here, I was like, "Oh, you should be on the podcast," and he was like, you want to leave the podcast? Can I take your spot on the podcast?" Okay, cool.
I don't recall the conversation at all.
All right,
Well, here's your chance.
Jane.
Yeah, I'm gonna just die anyway. So
Cool.
You're not going to die. You just might be a werewolf. Which of
And
these
then-
three dice?
Fucking guys, the red.
The red one. All right, airplane grade aluminum. So we'll cut back to Elga Vernax. This woman called a hag by some, old beldame by others, which is a little redundant because beldame is just a sort of slang word for an old woman. So specifically, it's like old woman,
It's like
She's-
how we call it chai tea. in
Super
America.
Yep.
old.
an ATM machine. She's standing above you, your palm, like your hand cradled in her palm, palm up, where she's cut your hand, and she has this small paper doll.
That part is really, really creepy.
Its
the best
face
part.
a beak. You realize that it's like
Like a plague doctor.
almost like a plague doctor, but under its long beak,
Ew.
you see like 6 arms folded into itself, like clutching its chest.
Why are you looking
As
away,
she's
Jason?
putting the like beak of this
I don't
weird
know.
creature's paper doll into your hand as it wicks the blood up from your palm, trying to remove the curse.
Jason looks like he knows something I don't.
You
know
have some
right
listening to do.
Yeah, we all
You
know
all
something.
know something?
Yeah, we all know something you
At
don't.
least
Oh,
3
no.
of you. All right.
now. So scared.
You feel something leave. You
Yeah, you
feel
should
like an
be.
itching behind your ear, your back, like leave
Starts
you.
scratching it with her.
But it's
foot.
going. Like you feel that
With her
discomfort going. You even watch the color and like of the infection around the bite mark start to drain,
God, Jason.
That's good.
start to drain out of you as this doll starts to take on the color of like old infected blood.
Ew.
And as it reaches its fullness, she casts it into the fire beneath the cauldron. You see it burn and boil like a green gold color in the fire. Your curse is lifted.
Really?
Yes.
That's fucking great.
Do we have any check to make sure she's not lying?
Sure. You want to make a sense motive check?
I mean, I'm not sure I want to.
Can I like look at, I don't know, do a medicine check? Do I
Alright.
feel like
Do you-
she
do you
looks
feel better?
different?
Can I do a medicine check
Yeah, or on.
to like know if I feel better?
No, this is a magical thing, so it'd need to be a combination of like a tradition check with maybe a read aura to kind
Okay.
of learn a
Yeah,
little.
I can
bit.
do
I
nature.
think I feel better. I don't know.
Yeah. What's your nature bonus?
+6.
I have a +10. I can
You're
get
not
down
sure.
some of that.
You
I'm
can't
not
tell
sure.
at all.
Yeah.
I feel like
10.
I'm really tired.
Because you remember checking on the signs of the curse back
Mhm.
when it first happened, and you can't feel them in Ari anymore.
Hmm.
Nikolai, as you like reach out through the power of your god, through nature and religion.
Do I
He's,
have
like, turning
a
your
different
head.
paper bird doll curse?
Yes.
Maybe.
um,
Just maybe.
I'll go next.
Step forward, my son.
Oh, I'm not your son.
Step forward, young man.
Thank you. Oh, I'm not even technically that young, but
Step forward, man.
He's
Okay.
literally 2 years older than me.
Sit. And she just like gestures at the dirt floor in front of her.
yeah, he just plop.
Like crisscross or drop down on his
And
knees.
It's like a big emphatic down on his butt very quickly.
Okay.
Kind of hurts.
but of course your armor is still in perfect condition.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I forgot Arthur's always like clean and sparkly.
Yeah, you still have that fucking I love it. You still have
The
that boon. So
Fashionable.
you yeah. You kneel, you sit down before her. She asks you to give your hand up to her.
He starts like sort of mouthing the Sorrow's Sword words to himself.
Those words are not needed here.
Oh, yeah.
I shall draw this
Yes,
from
it
you.
is.
She goes through the same process, takes a knife out, cradles your hand. Do you think you'd have a glove on, or would you
He'll
take
take
a
the glove off, yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And we need not needlessly damage this. Hands the glove back to you, like as you're taking it off.
Damage my
Do we
hand,
at least
though.
get like a little smiley face band-aid at the end of this?
Sucker.
Yeah.
No.
Little lollipop.
Carves into the lines on your hand the creases. Pulls out another paper doll. The arms clutching to itself, seeming to be in a dress, the long, like, beak out of its face. Almost like a needle. Proboscis sort of thing. Places it on to your hand to start wicking the blood from you. Trent, which dye do you want?
I want orange.
Orange? Alright. The
That
nacho
orange one's
lava.
sick.
Go Bengals.
Oh yeah, that too.
You notice that something's wrong with the doll. The blood isn't quite going into it right. It's dripping out. Something's not working here. My magic is failed. Checks it to the ground, into the fire. It burns, but a different color. I have only one attempt left today at this. Should I go again with you,
No,
man?
no,
Go again.
no,
It's fine.
no.
We're
I
all
don't
gonna
want
make
to.
Arthur go again.
I don't want to.
We kind of like. I
Don't
put
be a
my hand on
baby.
your shoulder so you can't get up.
Give me your other hand.
Okay.
Arthur, was it?
Don't. Just call me man.
Baby, when you call me, you can call me man. All right. You lift your other hand. She takes the glove off, gives it to you.
Jason just looked at you with so much scorn.
I was just no. I'm mostly like this is not going well so far.
Goes through the same process, takes the knife out, carves into your other hand.
Maybe it was because I was saying my words, because she told me not to, so now I won't.
Shh. Just let it leave you. Let the blood leave you. Same die again, Trent?
Yep.
Fills up, the doll changing to the same color as Ari's, a kind of putrid reddish brown with green tinged into it. She pulls it, chucks it into the fire. It burns. It is gone.
Oh, good.
You are freed.
Thank you. Now I don't have to kill you.
She looks at you. What was that?
Nothing. He says stuff like that all the time. He tells me that every day.
She stares you down. I would not take kindly to any attempt on my life or otherwise. I have now healed 2 of you and attempted a 3rd. Your turn to uphold your part of the bargain and return to me and give to me the reagents I sent you out seeking.
But we have one more for tomorrow.
Of course, I will uphold my end of the bargain.
But she gave 3 tries. The
Yep.
bargain was to give them to her, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got them all.
She takes them and she like brings them over to a box like on one of her work tables. Like she's very carefully like putting them in. Thank you. There are caps here enough. I will not ask payment for a spell unless it is successful. I owe you at least that kindness for what you have done to me. The amount which you have brought me is more than I needed, and shall settle our debt for the first 2. You come back for the 3rd. Bring coin.
Okay, one more condition though. If you're doing some weird stuff and like spreading any weird stuff, can you leave our settlement alone?
Your settlement is of little concern to me.
Okay, good.
I only ask that they in turn leave me alone.
Well, we intend to leave you alone.
All I ask for in this world is some privacy, and I seem never to be able to get it.
I hear that.
Trent says, as Trent.
She makes like a weird, piercing eye contact with you. I'm sure you do. I'll remember you. And she looks over to you as well, Ari. And you. You've shared blood with me. We see the future in the blood that comes from us.
Oh?
The Hemo Prophet.
What? What?
Go on your way and leave me to my work.
The
Ring
what
the
prophet?
bell when you return. The Hemo
What?
Prophet.
Emo
Oh.
prophet.
Is that a thing?
Do you have an occultism?
No, Ari's just saying that. She's not
Oh.
trying. She's just going, is that a thing?
Lucky does.
Really?
Lucky, what does that mean?
Really
What's your
hope it's
bonus?
not.
9.
That's right.
9, I think.
You feel like maybe you've heard that as like a folk tale, like an offhand comment, but you're 100% not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Sounds
Like-
familiar, but
Like a cryptid.
Could be.
Can we go home?
Probably time to go home.
I think we should go.
You leave her hut.
How much do you need tomorrow?
If we have to come back, we shouldn't go home. We should just go out
Camp and then
and
come
camp
back in the
and come
morning.
back
Camp.
in the morning.
You're a half day's ride from your home.
Okay.
This is one hex down. Honestly, it's
Okay.
probably a little less than half a day. It's
Okay.
probably like a 4-hour ride, 3 to 4 hours tops. And if there was roads, even faster.
This is actually an okay outcome because then if we come back tomorrow, she can do all 3 tries on Lucky.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
All
All
right.
right, so we're going home.
We're gonna let's
Yeah.
get some our
Take
money
out.
together.
Yeah.
Get our money together for the payment for tomorrow.
I can't wait to sleep in my own bed.
Yeah, and it's kind of like that. So you're riding back to Shattershield. You've been gone for like 2 weeks. Well, you've been gone for about a week and a half, give or take. What do you think is?
Oh shit! The full moon's coming up, which means that dude
Yeah.
is gonna be back.
Oh.
You don't know that.
Yeah.
Can you
potentially.
imagine if we just did all of this, fought him again, and got infected
Somebody
again
else gets infected.
immediately?
No.
You ride back to town. A few folks see you. Ari, look, it's Ari. Like you're quite beloved.
Hey.
I imagine there is like a kid that runs up to you. It's like, I've been practicing my painting like you were teaching us.
Oh,
That's so wholesome.
great. She's so tired. She's like, that's awesome. Going to bed.
And my dad's been practicing his drinking like you taught him.
Oh, God.
Yikes!
Wow. That got dark.
Wow.
It's definitely gonna be on HBO.
yeah.
You kind of get back into town. And you're like, do you dismount or do you think you ride all the way to your town hall?
Ride the whole
Yeah.
way.
Ride to the town hall. You can kind of like, remember, there's a tiny little stable. You get off there, and right as you're getting there, you can just hear, they're back! Look at them, they're back!
No.
And
Knock, knock.
I'm so excited! And it's Knock Knock and Meekmek,
Meek Mac.
who has come at an emissary, because I believe you reached out to the
Yeah.
Sootsales kobolds.
Meek Mac and Ari were friends. Like,
Yeah.
she's going to be all
Legit
excited
friends.
to see
And
him.
Meekmek runs up to you. He's practicing his common, his Avastani. He just holds his fist up. Nux!
Nux.
Yeah! And it's funny, like he looks over at Knock Knock, like am I doing it right? And Knock Knock just like arms crossed, looks at him with a big smile and nods like you've done well. You have delivered Nux. And a couple of this, like there's a few folks that are sort of tending to things that see you. Oh, we're so glad you're back. Were you successful in your endeavors?
Looks at Lucky.
Mostly.
We have one task left tomorrow that we must undertake.
Should we prepare the coffee service for the morning?
Please.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Would you like to hear from any particular reports? Should they be prioritized?
Patrols, reports,
Ekondayu, we need to speak to him.
We'll
How
send
is the
word.
mural coming?
It's not progressed much without your time here, but it still stands well, protected from the elements.
They don't want to mess it up. You
Yeah.
know?
That's true.
And Knock Knock kind of pops up. I've been patrolling with Ekondayu. The realms have been safe, but he shall tell you of my great deeds as a hero tomorrow.
Wow.
You sound like a mighty warrior.
Ah! And he like beams at you. From you, I take that as a compliment. Perhaps one day I shall be as mighty, and he looks at Ari, as her.
Oh,
Can I ask?
that's right. I forgot that I impressed Knock Knock.
Yes.
Ask Knock Knock about What's the werewolf guy, the trapper's name?
Kundal.
Can I have you seen Kundal?
No. We have not. We looked for him. He's not been around.
Didn't we get the impression that he ran like so far away?
He ran farther than we were going to track him when he
Yeah.
was a werewolf, but he did look like from I think what we gathered was it looked like he was injured and wanted to leave.
Also, how he had the weird like ledger of predatory animals he sold to
exotic
somebody
animals.
that for like training. That
Yeah.
seems like it could be a problem.
Mm-hmm. He's the Tiger King.
Yeah.
I looked at Trent when I said that.
Yeah. I think I've mentioned this before,
You have.
but like Tiger King is just a normal thing in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So we were all just very surprised whenever people reacted so oddly to it.
It was COVID. We had nothing to
Fever
do.
dream.
true.
Yeah.
So you all make it down. Do you have anything else you guys want to do? Do you have like at least the whole afternoon and evening in town to catch up on things before you get a night's rest and go out the next morning?
How's Lucky feeling? Like, are you worried about?
No, I think he'll go back tomorrow if he's okay about it. I think he's just wants to see how things are progressing. He's going to go check on the builders and
The construction
do
of
his rounds.
the construction of the inn is going
Mhm.
well, because I think that was one of the things you all started working on was a
Yep.
good like travelers inn, which maybe in the short term would be even have some like longer term like options or leasing. The inn is going well. You do have a missive that has come in from was it Vjarnberg or Vjarnhold?
Varnhold, yeah.
Varnhold, yeah. Because you did send one of you out there to go talk with, Miegar Varn went out there. Yeah, you sent Arthur. The
Yeah,
note
Arthur
hidden in
was-
his
With a
chest.
Yeah.
sticky on him, yeah.
Yeah, so you have had word from Varnhold come back, just sort of like establishing kind of where they're at with what supplies they have, the things they're interested in getting, the things they're interested in having enough surplus to sort of trade. Also just asking after all of you. He was the one who kind of hit it off, especially with you a little bit, Nikolai, and just inquiring how things are going. The soot scales are sort of sharing that they have started to hear, and this will be something that'll kind of come in the next morning, but since you've already run into Meek Mek a little, Meek,
Mac.
there's a
It's
song, doesn't matter.
complicated.
Okay.
Meek Mek has kind of shared that they're hearing
I
more
was like, damn, they
reports.
practiced that.
Wait, that's what we do when you guys aren't around?
Yeah, Meek.
No, okay. Short version, Finnish Eurovision contestant has a song in Finnish that literally is Meek Mek. And James and I were like, holy shit, it's Meek Mek.
That's funny.
Yeah, so
Jason
in my
and I were
mind,
just talking about that. How did that get started?
You were talking about the movie Eurovision with Will Ferrell.
Yeah, but how did it start?
So
we were talking
good.
about, you said that sounds like a movie that plays inside of
A nail salon.
a nail salon. And then I was like, I saw the Will Ferrell movie where he's singing and he's like Icelandic singer.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Equalizer.
The
Equalizer
yes.
movie is
Yeah.
good. The show plays inside of a nail
Plays the
salon.
nail salon. And I've seen 2/3 of
Eurovision.
whatever that show is. Is it called Eurovision?
Yeah.
The movie?
Yeah.
Fire Saga.
Fire. That's right.
Yeah.
And I'm to this day, I was like, I wonder what happens at the end.
Honestly, it's
Yeah.
pretty good.
I was like
Very
into
funny.
it. I was
Yeah.
like,
Pretty
this is
good.
into it. I
Yeah.
like Rachel McAdams. So
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
also a staggeringly accurate depiction of so much of Eurovision.
It's
That's
not
so funny.
It's not that different.
Yeah, okay. So Meek Mek will let you know that like the soot scales are they're not so much hearing it, like their social network isn't so super broad, but they are kind of picking up some evidence of some of that troll activity that you've heard about, that Ekandaya was kind of sharing about, that's kind of coming to the south and to the west. Remember, you even dealt with that one troll that had like a little bit of like blue wyvern leather armor.
Mhm.
So that's kind of the big words that are coming in. Any updates from anyone else that you kind of looking for and checking in on real quick before the next day comes and goes?
Lindsay or Amiri or the alchemist here?
They
The
moved
alchemist
them.
is out exploring, but he's been back a couple of times. Lindsay is around and chilling. Amiri's out in town doing something.
Okay.
I
So
do
they're in town.
I do think that sort of going through town, taking some looks around, that there will be a moment where
Mhm.
Arthur makes eye contact with a woman in the street
Sure.
and realizes that it's his mom.
Oh,
Oh.
And I'll do a scene on the Patreon that
okay.
Involves
just
some
put
of
it
that.
there. Okay, so
Yeah.
Arthur. Yeah, so actually the rest of you kind of don't notice this. Arthur maybe keeps it a little private, but Arthur runs. His mom is in town.
Is she alone?
no.
So a few hirelings with her. They've maybe been staying at part of the partially completed inn.
Yeah. They
Wow.
are.
Nikolai rides by on his horse and he's like, "It's a damn good looking pirate."
All right, yeah, we'll save that.
Both
But
of them.
Arthur goes off, greets her, kind of has that moment. We'll handle that a little bit off screen.
I'm gonna go check on the plants. Talk to the agriculture.
The
The
way
fisherman.
Smell the dirt and the fishermen.
the
Oh,
way
yeah.
Ari would love to meet Arthur's mom. She's like,
Jade, are you actually upset
Just-
that Trent's holding
yeah,
her
I'm
back
just
from you right
waiting for
now?
this.
So crazy. Can you bring your real mom here for
Sure.
that episode?
She would not know
Nice.
what in the hell's going on. But yeah.
Maybe that's our next opening. Who of our parents would adapt quickest and best to the podcast?
Whose parents are listening? Yours?
My mom listens sometimes.
My mom started listening.
My sister
That's
listens
fun.
pretty consistently. As a matter of fact, every time we're on the phone, my sister's like, I hope nothing happens to these characters. I'm like, I can't say anything. Anyway,
Was it Lauren that was like, I started listening to season 2 and I love Biff?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, she's like, that's
Oh,
my favorite.
okay.
And we were like, yeah.
And she was
that's
like,
good.
The way you guys are reacting makes me nervous. And I was like, no, it's
No,
fine.
No,
It's cool.
don't be silly.
Then
cool.
watch- listen to like 2
Gaslighting
more
Lauren.
episodes.
yeah. Ugh.
It didn't take long.
All right. So you all kind of tend to your issues. Let's move the clock ahead. You're able to sleep in beds for the first time in like a week or two. Jonas, I imagine you're one of the places at the end, so you probably don't even realize that you're a room or two over from like, and you can probably see them out like in what's the functional part of like the bar and inn. There's like there's a woman who's getting on in her years a little bit, but clearly like has lived with enough luxuries in life to age well. There's like a brother-sister duo there, and what was your ancestry?
Bartabas.
It was
Oh, what
Barta.
was his
Oh,
name?
wait.
Was it orc or something? Human, dwarf.
He was a human.
So they're just sort of a rough and tumble big human, but you do see them. They're
okay.
legitimately, you see Bartabas and you and Matt's character
hmm
and Trent's mom
I don't know why this feels so weird.
to see your own character.
I feel like I want what's one of those games where I can like head hop into the other character and take it over.
Oh, like
Oh, yeah.
GTA like
Yeah.
5 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have that moment where like you see them like Jonas would have no reason to talk to them. They're kind of all sitting around chatting.
Sure.
It's clear like they got into town like just within the last day or so, and they looked like they've been through some shit.
Oh, nice.
I actually love to imagine like we're all like walking by the inn and we see the group of them like all together and all of us are like just obliviously walking on and Arthur's just like, holy shit, that's my mom.
Yeah,
hmm
and
But doesn't say anything.
so imagine Arthur, Jared, if you don't mind me kind of based on what you shared with me, you're probably not present the next morning.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So like comes to like you're probably responsible enough where you're like, I have to take care of some stuff. There's probably a note, but Arthur isn't there for morning coffee.
Lucky leaves a note too and
Oh.
rides out to the hag.
Oh, all on your own.
Oh,
Whoa,
right.
I feel like we should go with you.
It's
He
too
left
late.
it.
I love it.
He left
I
at
love
4
it.
a.m.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
That's so dope.
Ari
Mhm.
then sleeps until noon.
you wake up, see 2 notes, and you're like,
I'm like,
meeting
oh
canceled.
no. Yeah.
There's not a quorum.
There's this really cool rap song by this Minneapolis St. Paul artist called Prof. And there's this line in one of his songs that says, somebody's talking to him saying, you're going to regret that in the morning. And he's like, I don't care. I sleep till noon. And I feel like that's Ari vibes.
Yeah, totally.
Wow, I need that on a t-shirt.
So here's what I want to take some narrative difference. Like I want to change up our pacing a little bit from a lot of our typical D20 fantasy shit. I'll let you kind of play this out. The afternoon comes back. We'll go into the. Let's say you're actually all kind of meeting, and there's like a beer garden that's kind of going up, a little more informal, right next to the inn.
Hell yeah.
I honestly kind of imagine this inn looks a lot like the brewery you sent us photos
Oh,
of,
yeah,
Jason.
man,
Oh,
that place was
yeah.
fantastic.
I feel like that's kind of the vibe of your guys' inn in town.
Karis. His name is Karis. My family member that we were talking about earlier. I've been searching on
Yeah. His
when we were coming
rude
into
cousin.
town. My cousin.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I was looking through our texts and I finally found his name.
Yeah.
I thought you were telling us about a family member
Nope.
in Tennessee.
Nope.
And I
I
was
was
like,
no
I was
reason
like,
to call
oh,
him
that's,
weird on a
that's
In
nice.
podcast.
Yeah.
you
My
couldn't
weird
remember his
cousin.
name? You were just there.
Karis.
And is he in town? Is that you're trying to talk to him?
Is that
or-
what you were saying?
No.
That he was? Oh, okay.
No.
My bad.
But
Well, I found his name
A
anyway.
little bit of family history.
so I think maybe you're kind of all in the beer garden in the afternoon of this day. Lucky you come back into town. You'd see them, but they don't see you at first. If you want to duck them, or you can run into them.
Am I coming back?
Yeah, in the afternoon if you are.
Yeah, I'll come back.
Well, okay. Yeah, so as you're coming back down, you'll notice that you see at least, I'm going to take some GM hands here if you don't mind me, at least Jonas and Ari and Nikolai are in the beer garden, kind of near the inn.
So it was successful?
Well, I don't know. What I'm saying is Lucky sees all of you sitting there,
Okay.
and you see them before they see you. You can duck them or you can join them.
No, I'll join him.
So Lucky rides up, pops off the horse.
Oh my God, where were you?
I'll just hold out my hand. It's got a cut, and I'll say it's done.
Nice.
Did it work?
I mean, she said it worked.
I'll do the same check on him to see if I feel like it worked.
It's reading weird, but Lucky's has always read weird with the
Okay.
whole beastkin history. You can't tell. Oh, you know what? What's your bonus?
Smell
For
mangy.
which one?
Nature.
10.
You can't tell.
I can't
It's the
tell.
same thing you had before.
Okay.
So, probably?
Arthur's like, sweet, it worked. Awesome.
Oh, is Arthur there as well? I was going to let you kind of...
Yeah, I think he would have entered with his mom and sort of introduced her, but
So, yeah, do that right now. I think Lucky's gotten here just as you come out.
everyone, this is my mom.
What?
It is a pleasure to meet you, miss.
And cut to the next episode.
Yeah.
She's very smart and she's really nice and she will probably be staying here for the foreseeable future.
She is welcome.
Ari is beaming.
I
Oh,
reach my
excited.
hand out to your mother and
Yeah, she would take it and a pretty firm handshake.
Does she introduce herself?
No,
Okay.
not a word.
Yep, just dead silent.
Yep.
I'm just like egging Trent out. I'm like, come on, Trent, do two voices.
I think that's why it feels so weird to have like two characters in the
Mhm.
same room.
The whole show
Yeah, I wonder
just
what that's like.
devolves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Says the GM.
yeah,
Yeah.
the other guys aren't here, right?
No,
My-
they're back at the inn
Yeah,
somewhere.
they have no reason to come to the
Yeah.
morning
Yeah.
meeting.
Well, this is afternoon now. They're just
Oh,
getting
yeah.
a drink. Arthur's introducing everyone to Letitia, right?
Yeah, and he would say, her name is Lady Letitia, and she would like stop him
Lady?
and say, you may call me Letitia. I am a lady no more.
What happened?
And Arthur's like, we can talk about it later.
Okay.
All right.
I kind of want to push him to do it now.
Ari's like, wait, I need to know everything about baby Arthur. Do you have any embarrassing drawings of him?
And I-
like, what did he do when he was a
Do you have
kid?
any
Wait,
baby
oh my God,
renderings?
I knew Biff. Biff was so cool. I'm so sorry that he
And
died.
I think it's
The
after.
whole fucking mood turns immediately.
And Ari's like, anyway, it's so nice to meet you.
So is she joining us for the morning meeting?
This is just like an afternoon social beer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We've had the morning meeting apparently.
Well, he wasn't here.
Oh yeah,
It was
that's
We
canceled.
right.
For lack of
canceled.
quorum.
Yeah.
Canceled for
Oh,
quorum,
okay.
yeah.
Tomorrow.
Lack of quorum.
Got it.
I would like it if we could maybe find a position for her because she's really smart and pretty good at what she does.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we need to talk about this in the morning because we have other positions to consider as well.
And so I think
Oh, true.
it's at that bit that the camera's on like a crane shot and it just kind of starts pulling back. And we're like fading out on them talking and we're seeing it. And this is where we're going to do like our first, like a little bit of a time jump. We're not doing a full we're not doing like a full hot D sort of time jump, but like
Yeah.
we're going to see the next few months.
House of the Dragon.
Also, Jane's
Ryan
cheering.
is like, what?
Hot
U.S.
D.
women's national
Hot
team just scored a
D.
goal against Germany.
Holy
Nice.
shit, that quickly.
USA.
Like the
Hell
game
yeah.
just started.
USA.
Yeah,
I also
spoiler
appreciate
alert.
how much it's this side of the table. It's either Trent.
Oh, that was
it's usually
beautiful.
Trent, just like low-key watching a Bengals
Trinity
game.
Rodman to Sophia Smith, I think.
Oh,
Fuck
nice.
yes.
That was a great cross-goal pass.
Spoilers.
Nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful pass.
Beautiful.
It's going to be like
Beautiful.
September when this airs.
Bo
but
scored one of
Jesus
those
Christ.
yesterday.
Mm.
All right. So
Wide open.
we're going to see months
Hell yeah,
pass.
brother.
We're going to see Shatter Shield starting to fill in. A few more of those like semi-permanent hovels are getting built. A few more other buildings are starting to come to. After the inn, what's the next building that you all were kind of thinking about? I know you've talked about a couple different things, but what we do see is
Was it a granary?
I think you guys talked
Something?
about some support for farm stuff. So
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
will
some
see as
farms.
your borders as the patrols get broader are starting to grow wider and some farms are getting started. We'll go 4 months from now.
Wow.
So that's June, July, August, September. What's fucking Galarian September? I will need at some point a Galarian calendar. We're in Galarian September. And let's talk about what all of you have been doing for 4 months. And this is where we can talk about some appointments I think Letitia, once you get to
It's
know
September. Rova.
her. Oh, shit, Rova?
Mhm.
So you're in Rova. Letitia has been appointed, I'm sure, to a position. Like, she is a career diplomat, like bureaucrat and diplomat. She's excellent.
She's actually so much more suited to this than any of the rest of us.
Well, and then I think Jonas is in as the viceroy, right?
What did we
That
say,
or the
viceroy
magister.
or the magister? Yeah.
Mhm.
No, the
I
magister-
think we had said viceroy
Yeah, I
the last
just-
time.
I think we
'cause you
did
said
say that, viceroy.
Magister was like, didn't really fit with Jonas's.
because it's more about the magical
Vibes.
traditions and you didn't have quite as many of them. Whereas the viceroy
Yeah.
is sort of representing the people on behalf of
which
them
I
and
can
talking
totally
with like,
do. Mhm.
and it's also a lot of like
Anthropology.
directing infrastructure and growth in
Yep.
direction with the people and the land.
And
So
I've
it's
got
very
lots of
advocating.
society and architecture.
Yeah, so it's kind of perfect.
Cool.
I think inside of that 4 months too, there's a moment where at our like morning meeting or our coffee or whatever, I bring up there's something that has been weighing on me for a while, and while we have a general, we do not have a knight.
Oh, we need to appoint someone.
And Nikolai looks
Knock.
around at everybody, and he's like, Arthur,
Hmm?
I believe it has to be you. Please,
Oh.
kneel.
Oh.
And I asked for your sword.
The beheading
No,
sword.
no, I like my sword.
I don't have one, so you have to give me
Oh.
a sword.
Just let me turn the flames off real quick.
I do the whistle before I do it. And then he, dubs you, Arise, Sir Arthur of Shattershield, Protector of Astis.
And so this feels like a perfect time to say this. It's at this point with the months going by and you settling in. All of you are now 5th level.
Nice.
Yeah.
And let's talk about, and honestly, I kind of love this. I don't know that all of you have 5th. Many of you have 5th level prepared. I know that not all of you have 5th level prepared.
Already open.
So go ahead and talk to me about what you're doing for these 4 months through Rova and kind of what that looks like as a part of leveling up. What are you doing in the community? Well, we can go into some more depth in a future episode about the different upgrades in the kingdom. We are doing a lot of the kingdom stuff in the background, and I'm trying to let that inform what's showing up here. But I don't always need to spell it out episode by episode for everyone of like, well, you got this many resources and you made this many weeks worth of progress onto this. The inn is obviously finished. You get some more housing going up. The farms are in place. Your diplomatic relationships are starting to yield some resources. And you are also, if I remember correctly, I think you were starting to work on a road to connect your Shattershield up to
That's right.
Like the King's Road, main road, or whatever.
yeah, but specifically I think it was right next to the outpost.
Yeah, we want to get to the
yeah.
outpost as quick as possible.
Because one, you've got a good relationship with them and they can handle a lot of influx, and two, if you ever were to expand your kingdom, you talked about trying to ask the husband and wife up there if they'd be interested in being within the bounds of it, sort of a trading outpost. Plus, yes, it then does connect you to a primary trading road that way, which would help with a lot of other things. So you've made it 4 months of progress. More kind of grander buildings are coming in, and the farming is kind of starting to come in. Logging camps up in the woods are continuing to work. Talk to me about what's going on with your folks over these 4 months, which is fun. I think in Pathfinder we don't get to do a lot of like
Yeah, that is fun.
third of the year passing.
Yeah.
The hot summer days are getting a little shorter. The weather starts to cool.
I think Ari one day will ask to like talk to Nikolai alone, and then she's going to be gone for like a month of that, but she will have only talked to Nikolai about why.
Okay.
Well, what did she say to
Ooh.
Nikolai? Or do you
So
not want to
only
handle
for
it here?
Nikolai.
So there's sort of like, maybe, is it only one or twice, or do people notice maybe the occasional conversation between just the two of you?
I think it's mainly just like one day she's like, Nikolai, I need to talk to you about something, and like then she is going to tell everybody else like, I have to go take care of something. I'll be back in a couple of weeks
Sure.
Okay.
and be gone. And then when she comes back, she'll be focusing on the mural and also just like beautifying and making the town nice, but also kind of trying to like keep an eye on everybody because she's the what's her title?
I don't remember.
The counselor.
Counselor. Yeah.
yes.
And so she kind of is just
It's
trying
your
to like
title.
make sure that she knows where the people who are coming to live here are at. She probably meets the other adventurers, like if they're still hanging around town. So she's just trying to kind of like help build community and like make it a place where people want to live.
And over those times, I will say, you do get rid of a few new notable folks coming into town.
Okay.
Valerie stops through once or
Do
twice.
we know Valerie?
Yeah, she was
She was,
the like crusader.
Fighter, yeah.
Oh,
Like right at the beginning.
The short
Yeah.
blonde hair.
Right. Cool.
She doesn't stay much, but she comes through because she hit it off with. She was the people that like you kind of helped save that night, and she does make time to stop.
Didn't she hit it off with Lucky?
And Biff.
I think
She hit it off with Biff, actually.
Yeah.
Rip.
And I think she probably goes to.
Bummer.
I don't know. I think she maybe thinks about going to because she hears that Biff's brother is there, and I think she doesn't meet up, but she leaves a note with like perfect handwriting. And if I remember correctly, it's a small bit of embroidery that she'd done that sort of depicts Biff's like done in red scale. It's almost like a small like scarf, and she leaves it and says it's for the brother, the person who helped save her life. And so you just get a note written from someone talking about the kindness that he showed her and the chivalry he displayed. And Arthur has like this like a small, like almost like a red pendant with embroidered scales.
That's dope.
He just kind of like throws it in the chest.
Sure. Additionally, Lucky, there is a night, and it's one of those where like you're kind of checking on something coming back, where Jathal kind of
nice.
catches up with you. I think kind of sees you and waves. We won't go to a full like role playing scene, but I think she'll come through town. She's not like taking up residency here, but she comes by and she just like sees you, maybe shares a drink with you,
Sure.
and has like a moment with you, kind of connecting in that time.
Yeah.
Lindsay's doing great. She's cataloging so much of this, talking to people, moving around. Arthur, what are you up to in these 4 months?
I mean, I think he's now that he is a knight. He would
Hell
definitely
yeah, he is.
he would be trying to sort of train a small force of defenders.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Just like beating him up with your sword.
Yeah, exactly.
Again.
Up again.
Jonas is in the back blowing a whistle.
Goddamn right.
I feel like the people who are showing up, I feel like Ekandayu's kind of doing his own thing quite a bit. I feel like Meekmek, Knock Knock, 100% there. Same with the two lumberjacks. They're showing up.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Daily trainings. A few more people are starting to come, working with you. But Knock Knock's kind of getting into it. He's splitting his time pretty evenly between you. He's patrolling with Kundal quite a bit. And he's spending some time to like hang out and just get smashed drunk with Ari whenever there's a chance for that.
I will say,
I can die. You said Kundal.
Oh, sorry.
yeah,
Yes,
that's
Ekandayu
true. It's not the
hunting Kundal.
werewolf
No.
that we're.
He's out there with
Oh shit, he's here.
Ekandayu.
Kill him.
Yeah, it's been 4
Just
months where he's
checking.
at.
Ari's like, oh my god, wait, you're the werewolf? When they're like
it was you
drinking
the whole
together.
time.
Yeah.
Can I just say also that like when she's around, one of the things Ari would probably want to be like semi-doing, but I think maybe working with Jonas and Lucky on, because I feel like it's sort of within their skill set also, is like, can we look into where Kundal sold these animals to? Like if there's people around or
Sure.
some
Yeah,
sort of
yeah.
like weirdness going on with that.
Sort of starting an investigation.
Yeah.
We'll use some blades in the dark mechanic. We can start a little clock for that.
Awesome.
Ooh, I
And
like
you'll
that.
start, all of you can kind of work on that. We'll do some rolls off air to progress that clock. You begin that investigation. Arthur, you're training folks in town. I'll give you kind of a clock on that too, to having like some baseline militia stuff. And we'll get into that a lot more when it starts becoming time to maintain armies and militias. But
Yeah.
you kind of have some roots of that there. Anything else Arthur's doing? What about family time?
Oof.
I mean, this is like, you don't need to role play it out, but kind of the abstract. What's that like for Arthur, you think?
I think over the 4 months you see a lot of weight all of a sudden on Arthur, like on his face.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably not getting very good sleep. And it's based on conversations with his mother that they're having every night. Yeah, he seems like he's not himself.
Okay. Ryan, what's Jonas up to in these times?
He looks worried about
Just
Arthur.
staring at me.
Hey, Arthur.
Huh?
What's going on?
Oh. There are things in this world that are not as I would have thought they were.
Like your night?
Oh, yes. Yeah. That's cool.
You want to talk about it? What's going on?
Did you ever feel like you're connected to something and then you learn that there is no connection and that there never was?
Is Arthur adopted?
You mind taking a walk?
I like to walk.
And I'll take Arthur around and like kind of feign like showing him the buildings that we've been going up and kind of showing him like how we've all been involved. Like, hey, this is there. What do you think about this? And so and so. And then as we get around to the backside, I'm going to get to the graveyard.
Mm.
And I'm going to go over there and
Sick
point
move.
to one of the graves. And I was like, I feel that all the time. And I heard about your father.
Oh,
And I just, sometimes these connections, or lack thereof, I keep forgetting about the southern accent. And I reach down and I put my hand on one of the gravestones. And it says, Mary Jane Sibylla on it. And so if you ever need anything, like I understand,
oh,
in a way, shape, or form.
is this someone you knew?
Long time ago, yeah.
Well, I'm sorry that happened to you.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry that happened to you too.
Yes, that's kind of what's strange. I'm not sure I entirely know what happened with my father.
Is that something you want to try and find out?
Yes, how could you help with that?
Well, I don't know. I'm just wondering
Oh,
if that is something that you wanted to do. Like, you let me know how I can help. I don't necessarily know how that would work or how I could be connected to that. But if that's something you're interested in, I just noticed that there's been a little darkness going on, and I'm here to help out, and I'm sure everybody else would be here to help out too.
yes, darkness is a good word for it.
Hmm.
Could you inquire at my family's former estate,
Mm-hmm.
what state my father's body was in when it was found?
I can absolutely do that for you.
I would like that.
Okay. Let me go take care of that. And let me know if you need anything. And then I'll look at him and put my hand on the gravestone and look at it. And then turn and walk the other way. And then I will, I'm the viceroy, right?
Mhm.
I will viceroy my way to finding this information out for Arthur.
And Arthur will go and pluck a flower and leave it on the grave that you pointed out.
And it's an old fucking grave. You like this is probably as old as some of the original stonework that was a part of this
Wow.
fortress.
Is this also Jonas's last name?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's move back. Who else we got? Lucky.
I think Lucky would take a leave too.
Mhm.
But he wants to go back to, where do we come from? Brevoy?
Yep.
And just check in there with our friend. What's the lady's name? I forget.
Oh,
The Sword Lord.
Yeah, Armandi.
Armand.
J-
Jamori.
What was her
Fuck.
name?
Yeah.
I have it right here. It's in the book.
Lady Jarmandi
Yes.
in
Yeah.
Rossland.
Yes, Rossland is the southern
Lady-
state of Brevoy.
I want to say that she's like Jacinda or something.
No.
like
God damn it. Where is it? I have it right here.
It is a J, I think.
Jarmondi?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
last
Lady
name.
Jarmandi. I don't know what her first name
I
is.
don't remember.
I feel like I had a portrait of her right here when she comes out to speak. Yes, Jamandi Aldori.
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 There it is.
The
That's
Aldori,
The Aldori Sword
Lords.
Lords,
Yeah,
right? She's
yeah,
of that
yeah.
family, yeah. Jamandi Aldori.
Jarmondi.
For our
Um,
listeners, just mentally edit out that I had to check my notes for that.
Yeah.
So you go check in with her.
yeah,
I just feel
check
like
in.
Sword Lord sounds like a diss. Like if you're making fun of something, you're like, oh, you Sword Lord?
Yeah.
Like the Sea Lord.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't even sound like a real thing.
So you check on it. We're going to come back to you in a second.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And Nikolai, what are you up to?
Nikolai is, over the 4 months, he is actually studying and reading a lot more. Kind of taking on his new position. I'm not a really learned, studied individual, so he's also with Jonas,
Mm-hmm.
learning, trying to see how much he can learn about that Aklo language, because it
Ooh.
seems to have come in handy a few times lately. But he does his normal thing where he's helping people, healing, farming, fishing, hunting. But he stays after the kills are brought in a little bit more and helps cook. He's learning a lot more about cooking.
So I feel like you just did this a little bit. Does anyone else have anything they're doing that's sort of foreshadowing some of their level 5, whether it's just martial training? Obviously Arthur is as well. You're literally drilling with people, practicing. Nikolai, you're getting in touch more with your community, with cooking. Both are things that are kind of Arastally. The rest of you doing anything that's sort of like, how are you practicing? How are you getting better? What is becoming quarter of max level look like for you? Any thoughts coming to mind right away for folks?
I do think that this is something we talked about a little bit previously, that like probably Ari and Arthur start to train together a little more because they're often like kind of next to each other in battle, and they're, damn, that looks cool.
Jason just put a new miniature down for upgraded.
My level 5.
That's so
Hell
fucking
yeah.
cool.
But yeah, we talked about this a little bit, that like, Ari and Arthur maybe start to try to kind of like pick up on some things from each other because they're always sort of up in front together.
Yeah.
I like to imagine there's a scene in which like some of the folks in town who've come to train, because I think I've talked before about like when I did some research for some different historical stuff, that you found a lot of Central European countries during areas when like food was really scarce and banditry was really high that would spend Sundays training together to like defend their community. And so I sort of mentioned that's what Arthur is leading. Like not even so much like a military or militia thing, so much as a like, hey, there's animals out here, it's dangerous. Let's make sure you know how to wield a spear. Anyone can make a spear. It's pretty cheap, pretty easy. Let's practice it. But I like to imagine that as kind of time goes on, there is a sort of like, everyone really looks up to you. But I do think every once in a while, there'll be some sparring that happens between Arthur and Ari. And it's very like, Morpheus is fighting Neo. And like half the town comes out to watch these sparring matches.
And it probably starts out like just the normal training. And then just like during the course of it, just gets like more intense, more intense, more intense, more intense, more intense. Where they're like very slightly pulling punches.
When Arya fights Brienne of Tarth,
She's
like, chang, 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 chang. And then she's just like swinging big swings.
Yeah.
That's how I imagine it.
Yeah, and we probably like show up to our like evening meeting like bruised and bloody and like actually met, or like probably Ari will like go to Nikolai and be like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna need you to patch me up again. Like,
I see you've been training again today.
yeah, but the people love it. She's like got a black eye.
He looks at you and says he actually came for healing earlier. You did a good job.
Fucking knew it.
Lucky's training with you guys a little bit too, actually.
Yeah, I think Jonas
okay.
is out there too.
Snap.
So yeah,
Maybe we're sparring each other as
like
opposed to
sparring
sparring them.
to Smappy the Frog. He's a little more upgraded.
Nice.
He's a little hornier, as it were.
Oh.
Yeah,
Like a little spiky, horny toad.
Yeah, a little spiky, horny toad. Smappy's out there. I imagine while Ari and Arthur are like drilling the cadets, as it were. There's at one point, like I like look at Lucky and kind of wink at him, and I just go, poof, and this giant ball of water just kind of appears. And I'm like rolling it through and having them jump out of the way and dodge stuff. And some of them are getting caught up and like rolled out, and then I'll like stop abruptly and like flip out and fall on the ground.
I like to imagine with the cooking you're talking about, Jason, if this isn't making me something, do you think that there would be like community meals occasionally?
Yeah.
Like would there be a day of the week that's sort of
Correct.
like everyone trains, spends time together, a big meal comes out, people are sort of brought together at the time?
Yeah. Like sometimes it's just like the chow line, I guess is the best way to put it.
Sure.
But then there are moments, maybe when it's after a big fight or, whatever, that the whole town is like, here's a big feast that we're having.
And so I like to imagine that like this isn't a mechanical thing, but I think that one of the areas that gets really developed in those 4 months is like a town square. Like you're really creating a place, and like people are kind of they're following honestly in the wake of the things that you got as a reward. But other people are starting to bring like folding chairs and stools out, and like Lindsay will come out and like give readings on some nights or singing. Amiri is out there for it. And so I imagine like all these people are joining in. Like I imagine, who knows if they're coming and going, but like Barnabas is coming out and getting in like some of the training too. But I think I want to set 3 scenes here to wrap up this episode. Because I think while we see every one of those 4 months training, the 5 of you are kind of standing out, right? Like obviously you're higher level than a lot of people. It's like, these are pretty impressive. But we're watching Ari and Arthur, and like week to week, month to month, those bouts between the two of them are just going longer. And it's getting to a point where it isn't just like, all right, 30 seconds a minute, these like really intense bouts. They're going minutes, 20, 30, 40 minutes, just ting, 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 like every month, just going longer and longer. And people are like in the point where they can't keep up with them. Others are watching and going for it. And there's sort of all like the celebration at the end, the patching up, sitting down, whatever people caught. Snoop Fisher keeps coming up and being like, hey, that giant turtle is still an issue. And you're like,
yeah.
It's fine.
As a matter of fact,
I've sent word to a security company.
because there's some merchants that have come through and kind of your constructed road, and there probably is a scene of you talking to this like armored to the teeth fucking dwarf in this kind of like side-eye looking lizard folk that you see talking to, who have like a camera shot of them, maybe a little gnome or halfling with them, kind of heading south with a small group going after that turtle. Then the two scenes I want, I think it sounds like in my mind maybe Lucky's making a couple trips to Brevoy, like whether it's both relations and keeping some information ties open, as well as maybe escorting some of the trade, because I know you were doing a lot of like getting resources through trades. It's probably also like doesn't hurt to have someone like you with them to help with a little bit of protection.
Right.
I think two things happen. You're woken up very suddenly at night, and back in town, Jane, you're starting to get word of someone. You don't, at this point, the community's getting a little bit bigger. You're not meeting everyone.
Okay.
But you're starting to get word, and you're hearing a new name several times. Grigori. And you start hearing it associated with tales of him talking, catching people in like small intersections, conversing. And you are starting to hear
Tales
word.
as in stories, not
Yes,
like
correct. You're starting to catch
with the tail.
tales of people
Catch us
talking
some
about like,
tales.
oh, you know, like you've heard a lot of talk about like, oh, our great leaders, and it's so wonderful that we have like a community started here. But you're also starting to hear other people talk about like, well, you did hear what Grigori said. I mean, I guess he's right. Like it was really negligent of them to just like leave for almost 2 weeks when we just started at first.
Yes.
Yet he called it a fool's errand to go gallivanting through the gnarl marches. I mean, I think he might be on to something.
Grigori is talking shit.
And it's sort of
Dissension.
like at a moment like this where you're realizing, maybe overhearing these stories one night in a bar, that you're waking up in Brevoy, Lucky. You're coming to, you're looking out the window and you're seeing like a couple of, looks like a few figures are like moving away like in a lightning storm from like where the carriages are set up. A couple of guards are rushing out there. You run down, like pulling a cloak on. In the night, as you go out there, rain's like falling heavily at the inn that you've rented in the stables, and you find one of your guards dead, bleeding out next to one of the caravan supplies where it looks like he'd stopped someone getting to them.
Yikes.
But pinned to his chest with a dagger is a note that reads, "The black tears do not forget."
This one.
Oh shit! Wait,
Tune in.
Sorry, was this in Brevoy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Tune in next week.
no.
Wait, can
Oh.
I add one more?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh.
So as Lucky's looking at this, the camera pans over slowly,
Uh-huh.
moving toward the graves.
Oh, out near the Aldori mansion.
And it moves over to Biff's grave,
Mm-hmm.
and the camera sits there for a long time like Jon Snow on the table,
Mm-hmm.
and the dirt starts to move.
Oh shit!
Wait. Can I add something?
Yes!
Wow.
What is happening?
So many
Yes!
post-credit
I have to
scenes.
think of something to add.
Patches fucking everywhere.
Lucky approaches the hag's hut and
Ooh.
rings the bell and says, what's her name?
Elga.
Elga. I kept thinking Elsa. Elga. Just kind of says it, not loudly, but just says her name.
Yeah,
I'm here to be healed.
I can help. I owe you this.
I walk in.
Mm-hmm.
We go through the thing. I hold out my palm.
Mm-hmm.
She slices my palm. She goes to put the thing,
Paper doll.
paper doll there, and I push her hand back and I say, help me control it.
Oh.
Tune in next fucking week.
Let's go!
So dope.
I have nothing to say.
The Live to Die podcast is a production of Live to Die Gaming. Follow us on social media at Live to Die Pod. Leave a review and tune in next week for more. If you like the amazing background audio and music, all that credit goes to Syrinscape. Make sure you check them out at Syrinscape.com.